Wow, you hear that, guys? So what you're saying is all these seals are in rehab.
They're in rehab. This is their SEAL rehab program.
Hence, like, the groaning and stuff.
What lights your fire? For me, it's food. For photographer Paul Nicklin, it's conservation. Let's follow our passions while the water boils.
So what made you first want to pursue photography or capture things visually?
I went off to university, became a biologist, but I became frustrated that we weren't affecting change with that science. So I thought if I can become a photographer and if I can get a job with, say, National Geographic, now I have the chance to reach 100 million people to bridge the gap between the important science and the public. Lived in a town of 190 people. We were one of 3 non-Inuit families. We never had a telephone. We didn't have a radio. We didn't have anything to sort of keep us inside the house. So all of my time was spent outside with the Inuit. The Inuit really taught me survival skills. From the time I was a young kid, I learned what it meant to be extremely cold, where you can't feel your extremities and it's not a big deal.
So what kind of food did you eat growing up as a kid?
Our groceries came in once a year by ship, and they would drop off 2,000 pounds of dry food on the shore, and that was your food for the entire year. And we never had, fresh produce like this.
So what about your background helps you prepare for shooting in these extreme environments?
I'm really good at freezing. When you're diving under the ice, after 45 minutes, you've lost all feeling in your arms and your body actually starts to go into very violent shivering. And after an hour, when the shivering stops and it really starts to slow down, then you know you're entering the early stages of hypothermia. You should be thinking about getting out of the water at that point.
And you can still use your hands even though you've lost feeling in them.
You can't feel your hands at all, so you can't physically feel your camera in your hands. You have to see it hitting the shutter.
Wow. So how long are you off in the woods?
The longest I've ever been gone on an expedition has been 10 months, and you have to pack all your food and your fuel and your energy and everything with you, so.
And you have to bring your motivation. So you're taking extreme risks to go and take photographs in these extreme environments. What makes it worth putting your life at risk to get these pictures?
This is my one chance to connect the world to the changing polar regions, and that's what drives me. It's the story that to make the connection and grab them by the heart. If I'm just cold and miserable and frozen, I can push past that to get these images to make that connection. Instagram, for example, I call it millennial bait. I mean, I love
Millennial bait?
because they're in this quest for authenticity. They
Right.
want the truth. I use the power of photography to lure them into my post, and then I teach them something with my caption. Again, art, science, and conservation.
It's so easy to only think about what's happening right in front of us, that it's what you do brings what's happening all around us here.
And that's what I strive for in my photography, is to have these basically soldiers on the ground working all the time telling these stories.
Click here to see the recipe or click here to watch more episodes. Can you spend 10 minutes a day doing something you love? Show us what you do while the water boils. Penne, what are your thoughts?
Nice.
I've been trying to work that one in for a long time.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is